Right. This is the second time filming this video, but you know what? It's worth it. It will be worth it. Okay. So the third Crescent City novel, I hate it. I hate it. So I haven't finished it yet. It's sitting on my nightstand, and I just kept thinking there are so many authors out there, whether they're a formally published author or not, that have just as much talent and are just as much of a joy to read as say like the first A Court of Thorns and Roses book. Like they just sweep you off your feet and you're immediately in love. So I thought today I would talk about my favorite fan fiction or storytelling websites slash apps and just, give some love. They're not necessarily professional, paid, published authors on these apps or sites, but they still deliver fantastic stories. And a lot of these are free. So, in those penny pinching months, times, years, maybe you can't afford to be spending excess money on books right now, but you can still find some really great stories. So, I wanted to kind of share that with you all today. So, without further ado, let's get into my list. Number one is Wattpad. So technically, Wattpad is free. It's considered or called a social storytelling app. It's also a website. I use the app. Like I said, it's free, but there are some paid stories on there. And I believe you can get subscriptions and things like that, but you don't have to. Most of the content on there is free. So I really, really like Wattpad. I think it's really easy to browse on there. There's categories. So, like, are you looking for a werewolf book? Are you looking for horror? Are you looking for romance? Are you looking for LGBT? Like, whatever you're looking for, there's a category, and you can look through there and you can scroll and see these are the top stories right now. This is what's trending. And that's kind of how I look through it and figure out what I want to read next. But specifically, Annie Whipple, she's a fantastic, one of my favorite authors on that app, and I'll talk about her more when I get to the next app. And then my other favorite author on Wattpad is Katarina E Tonks. And actually, her Death is My BFF series was just formally published. So congrats to her. So it just kind of goes to show you the quality and the talent you can find on Wattpad. Now, not every story is going to be knock out of the park amazing, right? Because these are just people posting on their own. So you can find people who don't have the best grammar, there's editing errors, etc. But you can also find people who really do a great job and post quality work like Katarina. So, like I said, her Death is My BFF series formally published, but she still has, because she slightly tweaked it for when it was published, all the old versions of the story and the series are still on Wattpad. You can still go on and read it, which is awesome. And can I just say, Shadow Daddy? I'm just saying. She also writes a lot of like mafia romances. So Kiss de la Notte. Please forgive my pronunciation of things. I am not the best. But her Kiss de la Notte, it's an ongoing book, but that's a really, really good one. A lot of spice. A lot of spice. And then Omerta, that one is finished. Again, a lot of spice in that one too. But Mafia Romance is really, really great. So definitely check out Wattpad. Again, it can be free. Tons of content to look at, which leads me into number two, Galatea. Galatea. Yeah. I'm going to put the words for all of these on the screen because clearly I can't pronounce shit. So Galatea, unlike Wattpad, Galatea is a subscription-based storytelling app, so it costs a little bit of money. It's not too bad. You can kind of do like, pay for a year up front and get the discount. And then different authors have codes as well. You can get 20% off, etc. So you don't have to pay full price. But like I mentioned, Annie Whipple, she has currently two books on Galatea. They're both werewolf romances, my favorite, which are Kidnapped by My Mate. I think it's like in the top 10 of all the books on that app right now. And then the sequel to that, which is called His Lost Queen. Other book that's going to come eventually, Alpha's Doe, which is one of my favorites. It started on Wattpad, and unfortunately, someone started stealing her content. So she's taken that, she's working with Galatea, and that's going to be formally posted on Galatea to prevent people from stealing her work. So I'm really excited for that one to come out. But what's great about it is she's building her own universe, kind of, the Sarah J. Maas universe, right? Like just that, oh, when a universe is being built out and the connections that are made, right? You know. Really, really like Annie Whipple. And then also Nicole Riddley is another author on there I really, really like. So Fighting Darius, Trapping Quincy, Chasing Kiara, they're all, again, kind of like werewolf-like in romances. But again, somebody who's building out her own universe. And each book focuses on a different couple, but they're all in the same universe. You'll see little glimpses of your favorite characters from other books, which is always, just satisfying. And then Galatea also has like specific spice one shot short. If you're just looking for a scene that's spicy, if that's what you're looking for, they have it. I will say I find like scrolling and just like the usability of Galatea, I find it to be a little bit more annoying than Wattpad. Galatea, you're getting full stories or stories that will be posted consistently versus Wattpad. You can find something you really love, and then the author disappears for 2 years and you never know what happens, which can be annoying. So it gives and takes, right? Okay, number 3. So this isn't specifically a storytelling app, but Patreon. So if you have an author that you are a huge fan of, see if they have a Patreon. So I am a really big fan of Harper L. Woods. We all know this, right? I don't think I reviewed this one, but the Flesh and Bone series, What Lies Beyond the Veil, What Hunts Inside the Shadows, What Lurks Between the Fates. This is book 3. Book 4 has been postponed. We don't have a new publishing date, but Harper L. Woods, we love her. She's been posting, took a break in February, but she will be resuming soon. But she's been posting every day chapters from the 4th book. They are unedited, and I'm assuming once she publishes, they will be a little bit expanded, right? When you're actually reading the book, but you still get to read the story and see what is happening because it's been a long time to wait and see what happens to Estrella and Callum because book 3 was painful. It really put them through the ringer as a couple. So it's great to kind of see the story continue while we wait for the book to be formally published. And the other thing she's doing is she's posting What Lies Beyond the Veil, but Callum's point of view. So the first book really is all Estrella and how she sees everything, but I find it really interesting to read about Callum's point of view because remember, he's keeping so many secrets in the first book. So to actually see what he was thinking, I just find it really fascinating. So I'm really, really enjoying Patreon for that reason. Obviously, the con is it costs a little bit of money, but if you do have a little bit of excess funds, definitely recommend seeing if your favorite authors have Patreon and then going and supporting. Number 4 on the list. Again, technically not like amateur the same way Wattpad and Galatea are, but Kindle Unlimited. So it's a great option. Con obviously is it costs a little bit of money each month, but if you like to read and you like to read a lot, it will save you a lot of money because I can't tell you how many times I ordered the book, I read it, and then I have a whole bag that I just need to go donate because I hated them. I was not a fan, and I have all these books, and obviously I'm not going to throw them away. That's terrible, right? So like I have to find a new home for them, for somebody to read them, and it's just annoying. So Kindle Unlimited is a great option, and then if you like the book, then you can order the hard copy. It's almost like a preview. So The Serpent and the Wings of Night, that book that's like going crazy on Book Talk right now, and the sequel, that's available on Kindle Unlimited. Rena Kent, I mentioned her in one of my other videos briefly. She has all her books, all her series are on there, which are fantastic. That will take you forever to read through. And again, it's like a universe where it's all kind of interrelated, focusing on different couples in each book. She's a very dark author, by the way. She is not for the faint of heart, but if you like it, that's all I'm saying. And then, and I'm gonna do a full video review on this, but the Lady of Darkness series by Melissa. Still can't say this. Rorick. But the Lady of Darkness series, which had knew nothing about it, had heard nothing about it, and just kind of dove in cold and was really pleasantly surprised. So Kindle Unlimited, it's pure joy when I open that app. So definitely recommend if you have some excess funds, you're not buying each and every book, but if you just put a little money per month, you can access all the books. So kind of up to you and where you're at with your finances right now. Number 5, fanfiction.net. Oldie but a classic. So there are thousands and thousands and thousands of stories from from people on fanfiction.net. You can search by movie, you can search by book, you can search by music, you can search anything you can think of. You can search, and there's probably someone who wrote a fan fiction for it. There's Harry Potter, there's A Court of Thorns and Roses. Now, because there are thousands of thousands, you're going to have to search, right? And figure out what you consider quality and who you like, who you don't. But if you're somebody who loves to read, you're not necessarily going to care, at least I don't. And for example, like the Stephanie Plum series, which I love, love. Back in the day, this is years ago, but back in the day, I would go on fan fiction all the time. And I would look for books where, what if Stephanie was trained up? What if, basically, what if? And then you find somebody with talent and can really write, and it just, blows you out of the water. Next thing you know, you're 60 chapters deep in some fan fiction. And it's almost like these characters take on a life of their own. So, fanfiction.net. And I believe it's still free. And then I was thinking, as I was prepping for this video, number 6, Archive of Our Own. I believe it's free. Again, I have not actually used this one, but I was not trolling, I mean, browsing the Reddit threads, browsing Google, browsing the internet, and Archive of Our Own seems to be super, super popular. So if you're feeling adventurous, maybe check it out. And that brings me to the end of my list. Again, there's more than just one author out there with talent and skill and creativity. So let's share the love, and maybe we can help some of these authors become published authors. You never know. And with that, make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you have a favorite story from one of these apps or websites or whatever, make sure you leave it down below so we can save people some time with the searching. And I will see you in my next video.